The race is reporting that Red Bull have requested an FIA super license exemption for Arvid Lindblad, which is set to be discussed next week by the FIA. Now, this comes after discussions regarding Max Verstappen, as well as some other drivers in that Red Bull family. Obviously, you will have known earlier on today, I spoke about Max Verstappen and his potential for a race ban and how I believe Max Verstappen should have received a race ban. And I think this, for me, is Red Bull covering their arse just in case Max Verstappen does. Now, should Max Verstappen pick up a race ban, there obviously is that conversation regarding who would then step up to the main team, who would then fill in at VCARB, and obviously you do have the likes of a Yuma Iwasa sitting behind the scenes. I believe Sergio Perez is still an ambassadorial driver at Red Bull Racing, but ultimately, as we know, he isn't racing in Formula 1 at the moment and is currently discussing his options with other teams. Who that is right now, I'm not entirely sure, but we could still see Sergio Perez come back to Formula 1. Now, obviously, the biggest talking point about this is that Arvid Lindblad is 17 years old. He's a British national, but also Swedish. And obviously, in August, he turns 18, so will be entitled to drive for any Formula 1 team. We've obviously seen Kimi Antonelli make the jump so early, and obviously at the moment, Arvid Lindblad is in Formula 2. I believe he's completed every series apart dissimilar to Kimi, who didn't do Formula 3. But with Arvid Lindblad, he's obviously had a fairly decent career so far, and as you know, he's made a brilliant start to life in Formula 2. Took pole position a couple of weeks ago, and obviously went on to take a race win not too far ago either, which obviously is brilliant for him, and it's exactly what obviously Red Bull want. Now, at the moment, 2024, he finished 4th in the Formula 3 Championship and 13th in Formula Regional Middle East. In 2023, he won the Formula 4 Macau race. He finished 4th in the Euro 4 Championship, 3rd in Italian Formula 4, 5th in Formula 4 United Arab Emirates. Back in 2022, he finished in 17th in Italian Formula 4. In 2021 was when he became a Red Bull Junior driver. And from 2015 to 2017, Arvid Lindblad was karting. Now, at the current moment, he is sat 3rd in the Formula 2 standings on 79 points. If we do just have a brief little look at those standings, he sits behind Richard Verschoor by 5 points and behind Alex Dunn by, I believe that is 8 points. And it's been a really tight battle in Formula 2, so far this season. Alex Dunn leading the way. Very, very good driver is Alex Dunn, but obviously in Monaco didn't pick up all that many points, and obviously we've got some massive discussions to be had in regards to the likes of Alex Dunn, Arvid Lindblad, Jack Crawford, Leonardo Fornaroli, who at the start of last weekend I think was leading the championship and now finds himself down in 6th place. But it's one of those where obviously Lindblad will be looking up to that senior team. He does drive for Campos, who are leading the way in the constructors of Formula 2, but the constructors in regards to the drivers doesn't really matter. Now, could Arvid Lindblad make the step up to Formula 1 now? Obviously, as of right now, the answer is no. He does not have a super license. I do believe he has the points for a super license, but at the moment cannot sort of take ownership of a super license because of his age. Because obviously, I think the rules are 18. Now, this season, 11 starts, 2 wins, 3 podiums, 1 pole and 1 fastest lap. And if we look through like his racing career on the whole, it's a very, very interesting one. When it comes to karting, won the IMME Cadet Series, won the British Kart Championship, LGM Series it was with the AME Cadet Series. Obviously, the British Kart Series, as I just mentioned, finished 2nd in the WSK Champions Cup. Obviously 3rd in the South Garda Winter Cup OKJ Series and the WSK Supermasters Series he won. And then he goes on an incredible run of 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 1st on a range of different championships throughout 2021. 2022 was a bit of a disappointing year for him. 10th, 16th, 8th, 32nd in one, 3rd in another. But if we sort of get forward into his racing series as so far, he's got a couple of wins at Formula 4 UAE, just one, sorry, 6 wins at Italian F4, another win at Euro 4, obviously the win and pole at Macau, 4 wins in Formula 3, a win in Formula Regional Middle East, 6 wins in the Formula Regional Oceania, where he won the championship that season, which was at the start of 2025, if I remember rightly. It's when Red Bull were trying to get him enough points for his super license, and obviously this season so far, 2 wins, 1 pole and 3 podiums. If we go back to that Formula Regional season, 12 podiums in 15 races, 370 points, 10 podiums for Prema in Italian F4 out of 21 races in 2023, where he finished 3rd in that championship. Now, obviously, when it comes to Arvid Lindblad, is he good enough? I think absolutely. I think he's on sort of a similar sort of trajectory to that of Kimi Antonelli, where I think by the end of, say, maybe 2027, 2028, they're going to be sort of like the best couple of drivers on the grid, and you're going to see sort of the back end of the likes of, I'm not saying Max Verstappen's going to retire or anything like that, but we know in 28 is when Verstappen's contract expires. You've got the likes of George Russell, Lando Norris, and I think like Lindblad, you've got like Antonelli, Lindblad, Behrman, sort of all around a similar sort of age. I think Behrman's a couple of years older than Lindblad, but all in that similar sort of age category, and have that possibility of sort of being the next sort of leading front runners. And will any of them get anywhere near Lewis Hamilton's records? We're not entirely sure. Will Max Verstappen break them? Again, we do not quite know. But can Arvid Lindblad become a great in Formula 1? Absolutely. I think he's got the right people around him, and obviously being linked to Red Bull Racing, you've got a brilliant opportunity to be able to sort of move forward and go and sort of take the bull by the horns, essentially, because there's 4 seats available as a Red Bull junior driver, in my opinion, because that second seat at Red Bull is always a question. There's always a question mark over Max Verstappen's future, especially at the moment, given the fact that I think Red Bull have to be 3rd and he has to be 4th or something along them lines, so that his clause doesn't get triggered, so that he could leave completely for free. So there's always that sort of doubt about whether the seats are going to be available. And we've seen this season, Liam Lawson at the moment is being sent to the slaughter essentially by Isaac Hadjar. Yuki Tsunoda isn't really putting up very good performances against Max Verstappen. Isaac Hadjar has been brilliant. Obviously, Max Verstappen's been very, very good as well. But obviously, with that potential race ban coming up, it's really important for Red Bull that they give Arvid Lindblad the opportunity to be able to potentially step up into a race seat. And you have to look at some of the other drivers. I think Ayumu Iwasa is one of the reserve drivers at V-Carb and Red Bull. And you have to look at it and go, is he going to get the opportunity, as in Iwasa, should Lindblad get this super license? And I believe that if Lindblad is given the super license, Iwasa won't get the opportunity should Max Verstappen get banned. And that then obviously closes the door on one opportunity. And I do think, as much as Red Bull are claiming that they aren't going to change drivers again this season, I think if Verstappen gets a race ban for, say, Austria, it would be for Austria, maybe Canada would have to get a penalty in practice for that to happen. But should Max Verstappen get this race ban, and I think Red Bull would go straight shootout in the Red Bull between Hadjar and Yuki. And I think in the second team, they'd go Lindblad and Liam Lawson, should he get his super license. So obviously, you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you hit that like button, you turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Do you think Arvid Lindblad deserves a Formula 1 drive? Let me know your thoughts down below.